Okay, and here we go, our next fight. Jorge Pereira from Rio de Janeiro versus Matt Hughes from Charleston, Illinois. This fight is going to be interesting, gentlemen. We have a top Brazilian against one of the top Americans in his weight.
Yes, we do, Steven.
Jorge Pereira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu stylist, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, 6 feet, 179 pounds, record 9-1. His only loss was to Jose Pele Landi, who is the main event tonight, and that was on a cut. He didn't tap.
As I recall, Steven, I don't remember the official time of that, but that was a long, drawn-out war between these two guys. He's a great submission. He's an old-school submission guy. I tell you, he's got a lot of heart, and he's quite a character. We had a chance to talk to him at the weigh-ins, and he's something else, isn't he, Steven?
Yes, he is. And coming into the octagon now, Matt Hughes.
Along with his twin brother, Mark.
That's a tough one. I wonder if they exchange fighting, or one guy fights and the other guy stays out. Matt Hughes won the best of the best Extreme Challenge tournament, and he's from Charleston, Illinois, 5'8", 176 pounds, record of 14-1. That's a good record.
Matt Hughes also had an impressive win in the last UFC.
And let's go to the tail of the tape. He's got incredible strength, benches 450 pounds. Whoa, and he's a great wrestler and a heavy hitter.
At 176 pounds, that's over twice his body weight. I tell you, he looked very impressive against Val Ignatov in the UFC. He laid some leather on Ignatov for the entire fight.
And here we got the tail of the tape. Pereira, 35 years old, 9 years older than Hughes, 6 feet tall, 176 pounds, 74-inch reach. Matt Hughes, 26, 5'8", 176 pounds, 70.5 inches. And we're gonna throw it up to TJ Thompson for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next bout. The fighter to my left in the blue trunks, trimmed in light blue. Hailing from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, please welcome Jorge Pereira. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent tonight. In the black trunks, trimmed in white. From Charlestown, Illinois, Matt Hughes.
Matt Hughes, he's a very accomplished fighter. At 14-1, he brings a strong record in here. He's very experienced. I tell you, this guy is ready to rock and roll tonight.
Yeah, looks like George is ready too, and here they go, folks. Pereira has been training in boxing with Helio Santana, but he's originally trained by Hickson Gracie.
Matt Hughes has a nice takedown from here.
Looks like he's got it halfway in. Pereira's almost working the guard already. He's almost just giving up the takedown. Pulling guard, trying to go high with the legs.
Hughes waits and drops both their body weights onto the canvas. About a minute into the first round. Round 1 of 3 6-minute rounds. So we step up in the time frames here for this fight.
With a 3-minute overtime if it should go to a dispute. I expect to see Matt pull up and start to unleash some bombs at any moment.
Matt's certainly not afraid to strike from the ground or from the guard. So I agree with you, Stephen. I think he's probably going to rear up here and look for some strikes.
Looks like he's getting ready. He's pushing up, but Pereira is dangerous.
You see as Matt stands to throw strikes, Pereira also puts a foot in the hip.
Big time punches by Matt Hughes. Pereira got up slow. Matt Hughes capitalized, dropped the punch.
Back to the close guard for Jorge Pereira.
I tell you, it's amazing how quickly the tide can turn in a fight. Split-second decision by Jorge to finally get up. Gets up a little too slow. Hughes lands a nice punch right to the head, and right back to the mat we go.
And Jorge spit out his mouthpiece. Not a wise move. He's pounding away with a hammer fist. Without the mouthpiece, that's a dangerous situation. I've seen fighters lose teeth in these kind of fights. With the mouthpiece.
Jorge's doing a nice job of trying to turn himself off this cage. Hughes, with his experience and his hips, is trying to keep Jorge up against the fence.
Like I said before, Hughes is unleashing those bombs. George is pushing away, backing back up.
Jorge looks awful winded after getting back up. You know, he gets up and his hands were down. I'm sure that toll took a lot out of, Matt's a very strong and aggressive fighter, and to have that type of fighter laying on top of you, pressing the fight, is very exhausting.
Looks like Hughes is stalking him. A wild jab thrown. Jorge just moves back.
Jorge takes a lunge with a jab at Hughes, unsuccessful. Hughes counters and drives him back into the cage.
And he pulls guard. He's got a guillotine, but
look for a big takedown.
Big slam, right? He's going to go to the center of the ring. I wouldn't be surprised. He's going for that center. Oh, yeah! A big slam.
I tell you, Stephen, the strategy here that most people may not know is the center of this ring is the firmest point as there's a cross member there. That's a good thought by Matt Hughes to lift Jorge to the air, take him to the center of the mat, and look for the knockout on the takedown, as we saw Ken Shamrock do against Igor Zinoviev in a previous no-holds-barred event.
Yeah, now Matt has almost got the mount. He could be working that right knee to George's head. But George is neutralizing that to a certain extent. It was a big takedown. It was a body slam.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Stephen. It was a takedown pronunciated.
Fortunately,
and enunciated.
Exactly.
And exclamated.
Fortunately, he landed on his back rather than his head.
You're right. I tell you, if Hughes
a
could
la Val Ignatov.
Yes. If Hughes could have got him turned to have the impact a little more towards Jorge's shoulders and head, that's more punishing than any blow you can offer with your hand or a foot.
It might have been a knockout.
Here we see Jorge working back into the guard, which is exactly what any fighter that would be in the side mount on the bottom would want to do.
I tell you, Tim, Hughes does not seem particularly concerned when he's in the guard, or doesn't seem to make attempts to pass the guard. He seems to intend to strike from here, as he's doing effectively.
Now that right hand landed. The first two missed, but he's landing punches now.
Hughes passes to the half guard based on those strikes, Stephen.
The first one landed right on the floor, but the second one missed grazing, but the third one landed right on the butt. There's that reverse elbow. There's another elbow. It's another stomp elbow. He's going to stomp the elbow again. He's going to drop that elbow straight down, extend the arm, and drop the elbow on the nose or the eye. Oh!
Jorge is a very talented fighter, but I just believe Matt is just too awful strong for him.
I tell you, do I see some blood there? Is there a cut that's opened up here somewhere?
There is a cut. The elbow, another big right hand. You know, Matt is just pounding him. Oh, big round from Matt Hughes. George is having problems getting up. George is very bloody. George is really in bad shape here. The fight may be over. That looks like that's it.
I tell you, Steven, the Brazilians have a never say die attitude. I'd be surprised if Pereira turned in the corner. I think that threw in the towel, or his corner threw in the towel. I think this would be a doctor's stoppage if it does stop here. What do you think?
He was having problems getting up. He was dazed. It might be up to the discretion of the doctor. When a fighter is acting, he won't get up, and he's walking around like he doesn't want to continue. It hasn't been determined yet. They're moving him over to his corner. They're examining the cuts. He is cut. Matt Hughes was putting a world-class beating on him. This fight was in a way reminiscent of when Don Frye fought Omri Batech in another no-holds-barred event. Omri Batech had position occasionally, but Don Frye would drop that short elbow over and over and then started loading up on punches, and just, unfortunately, it was not a good night for the jiu-jitsu man. Okay, now here's the body slam. Matt has got him. He walks him over to the center of the ring and slams him on the ground. That's enough to knock the wind out of someone. And here Matt just gets busy with the strikes. He just throws those big bombs. This guy can hit.
He's an excellent striker from the ground. And I tell you, he gets through hitting you with his fist, he goes to the elbow.
That was ground and pound at its best. And it looks like, not sure if the fight is over.
On the ring.
And let's go to T.J. Thompson.
Round number one. The winner by doctor's stoppage, Matt Hughes.
That was a tremendous victory for Matt Hughes. He beat a guy that had a 9-1 Vale Tudo record, who was trained by Rickson Gracie. Now let's go to a post-fight interview with Jorge Brazil at ringside.
Matt, congratulations at the pre-fight interview. You told me you're going to ground and pound, and that's exactly what you did. Are you happy with that?
Very happy with what came out. Very happy with the match. Wish he didn't back away so much, but that's the way it was. I'm very satisfied.
What's coming next?
I have no idea what comes next. I have to talk. My promoter, Marty Cox, takes all my business, so whatever he says.
Congratulations. Stephen, back to you.
Okay, a tremendous victory by Matt Hughes. He can only go up from here.
I tell you, that was impressive. I'm very, very impressed, Steven. If there was any question as to his skill against a true jiu-jitsu stylist, which I don't know that there was, he certainly solved it here tonight and answered the question for us.